So, welcome, Daniel. I'm really excited to having spoken to you a little bit about what you've been up to. I'm sure people listening are going to be quite excited as me when they hear about what you've been doing. Um, so, thanks for taking a bit of time out
Thank you,
to
Robin.
speak to me and have this little fireside chat, as I call it. Uh, and could you just tell us a little bit about who you are and, as a co-founder, a little bit about the business?
That'd be a pleasure to. So my name's Dan Hartshorn. I'm currently based in London. I split my time between Leicester and London. I am one of the co-founders of this. So this is the Espresso. It is the world's first in-shower smart aromatherapy diffuser. So our kind of goal, our reason to be here is to bring relaxation to the weary, the busiest, the people who are suffering from stress and don't have a moment to breathe. We want to be there to provide them that moment of relaxation or rejuvenation without any pressure of kind of scheduling or setting things up. Just we want to make relaxation as easy as possible.
Fantastic. Sounds absolutely wonderful. So I've already got my wife's name down. Maybe if she doesn't watch this, it might be one of her Christmas presents or something. But could you tell us a bit? There's a lot of history before you got to this stage. Could you tell us a bit about yourselves and your co-founders and what you did before doing this?
It would be an absolute pleasure to. Sorry, I'm just turning my phone on silent. Um, so yeah, myself, my co-founders, my two co-founders are Wen Navala and Chris Salvage. Um, they are, and obviously I'm biased, but truthfully, I think they're the best people in existence. So we all met working together on a previous project that we did together, which is called Meter. So that is this bad boy here. I like to keep these things to hand. I don't know if you notice, like
Very useful.
I'm just kind of pulling them out here and there. It's absolutely glorious. So Meter was the world's first wireless smart thermometer. So that product came from Kickstarter as well. We were part of the core team that helped build it from nothing to over 105 staff and over 145 million revenue globally. Um, that was acquired a couple of years ago now, and we've kind of completed all the handovers and everything like that. And now we're at this point where we want to do something new. We want to do something that leans on our skill set and that we know how to do, but we want to have a unique and novel way of doing something different, a new challenge, as it were.
Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So, how did you get together? And because you got this brilliant engineer, you're doing the marketing and whatever, and then you got somebody who also does the finance. It's like a dream, seems like a dream team to me.
Uh, well, I think they're awesome, and I think I'd be unfair to them if I didn't say, Wen is an engineer, but she's also a marketer. She's also a people person. Chris is an accountant, and he would tell you he's wanted to be an accountant from being a young boy, but he's also analytics. He's developing websites. I'm really lucky that my co-founders are very much polyglot people. Um, we originally came together through Meta, so that kind of shared mission of bringing a product from an idea and a concept to taking it out to millions of people around the world. That that's what brought us together. We spent a lot of time together working and focusing on our mission of growing Meta. And yeah, it's throughout that time we became friends. Truthfully, I'd call these guys my family now, right? We spend an awful lot of time together, and I'm really glad we do. So we met through Meter, and as part of that journey, this is why the idea for the new product came about. And there was no one else in the world that I would rather do it with than my two co-founders.
Fantastic. So this product seems to be obviously very different from the other product. This truly could be, I don't know how big this product could become, that huge, but also men, women. I know women tend to be dominant in terms of diffusers and things like that, but because you've got this electronic type device, if it's in somebody's bathroom and it's that easy to use, I'm assuming that use could be children, could be everybody in that household
Yeah,
potentially would
absolutely.
want
This,
to use
this
it.
is our hope. This is our hope. We really hope that what we're building and what we're creating for people is universal. Our dream, it's lofty, but it is our dream, is to have a scent espresso in every shower.
Yeah, I love that. So we've gone from Bill Gates talking about a computer on everybody's desk or in everybody's hand to a scent espresso in everybody's home. How cool is that?
Well, let's hope so. I mean, if Bill Gates deserves more than one, he can afford it. And I'm
One
pretty
in
sure
every room of his
one
house.
shower. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has more than one shower. So, Bill, if you're paying attention, there's a founders pack with your name on it on Kickstarter.
And how does it power? Is it a rechargeable device?
Yeah, so it's fully rechargeable lithium ion. Um, what was important to us with this is that you spend more time relaxing and less time charging. So under normal use, you would get a month's worth of usage on a single charge.
And obviously it's completely waterproof because that's the other thing people, they have electronic device in the shower. People get a bit, oh.
Well, if it wasn't waterproof, it'd be a very expensive single-use product. Yeah, we've absolutely, it's waterproof. It's we've spent an awful lot of time and effort and engineering muscle making it waterproof, making sure, because a shower, it's a great environment for us, but it's quite a hostile environment for electronics. So
Yeah, yeah.
we've made sure that we'll be absolutely fine. I mean, actually, parts of this product are fully dishwasher safe as well to ensure the ultimate in cleanliness.
Brilliant, brilliant. And you had an interesting journey, this whole Kickstarter model of how you raise some funds and how do you engage your customers. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, so originally Meta came from Kickstarter as well. Meta had 27,000 people back that product. 27,000 people put their money on the line and said, "We want this thing," and it helped us build it. It helped with the drive to build it, and also it was fantastic to have a tribe of people behind us and the product that cared about the outcome, that believed in it, and so we Meta came from Kickstarter, and for us, when we sat and looked about how we were going to release this product to market, the Scent Espresso to market, traditionally, perhaps Meta might not have been the best platform for us. Me, Kickstarter as a platform is very heavily male dominated. That is changing, but it is heavily male dominated. And whilst we want this to be a universal product, there is no doubt that it would, we believe a lot more of our early adapters will be female, adopters will be female. But for us, Kickstarter is the place where ideas are born. It's the place where we can take what we are making, we can share it with people who are early adopters, people who want to see innovation and something new and unique, and we can share this journey with them. And so that was why our decision came through from Kickstarter. But I will say there was an awful lot of work to get to the point of going on Kickstarter. We spent 14 months prior to even going on Kickstarter, working on our product, working on our business model, working on all of the engineering and the social and everything that goes along with it to make sure that we were ready for when Kickstarter came to be able to talk to anyone and share our knowledge about our product.
Brilliant, yeah. And I understand so it's the use of essential oils as well. Is it that you people will get or can buy some essential oils and just pour some in it, or is
So
it
glad
how
you
does that
asked that
work?
question. So this gets me an opportunity to show off. So you will have these are your kind of traditional essential oil bottles, okay? This is 5 ml. This one is rosemary. These are everywhere. Now, when we talk about essential oils, we talk about churches. And people get really evangelical about their essential oils, and quite rightly, because they can be very demanding on the environment. We need to make sure they're ethically sourced, they've got no nasties in there, and that they are as nature intended, right? Nature's bounty. What we have done is we have patented this here. Now, this is a universal adapter. This will fit on any essential oil bottle. So I'm taking my lid off this essential oil bottle here. I'd already got it on one, so I'm going to unscrew that there. And then I will just literally screw that onto the top like that. And then what I do is I plug and play into my Center Espresso
Oh,
device.
wow, cool.
So that is just as easy. Well, I could say it's falling off a log, but I think it's possibly even easier than that.
Pretty cool.
Now, that will is not a closed system. It doesn't just work with our essential oils. And on that note, we believe our essential oils are some of the, if not the best in the market. Obviously, I'm biased, but just a bit of an aside, when we talk about many things, if we see an organic label on something, we are societally conditioned to assume that that means it is fully natural. That's not the case. And if something is grown organically, there's still the possibility and likelihood that it's been laced with herbicides and pesticides. Everything that we supply is natural farmed, which means it's completely guaranteed to have had no herbicides, no pesticides. Everything is dealt with naturally as opposed to chemically.
And I usually ask, it almost seems redundant here, but I usually ask, how do you stand out from the competition? But this is a truly unique first in market device, isn't it?
So it is unique and it is first in market. Diffusion's been around for a while though. I mean, when we look at a reed diffuser, they've been around for literally thousands of years. Um, what we have done though is we have, I suppose it's the difference between, do you remember that point when you had a BlackBerry and it was the latest, it was the coolest thing ever because you could send BBMs. And then the iPhone came out and it was just this like how has this leaped this far forward? It's not even the same thing anymore. I know it is, but it's just not. And I think that's the analogy I would like to say with us. And
Mm,
you know,
huge leap.
yeah, you've got the Blackberries of the world that are out there. We've kind of revolutionized it with that level of technology and innovation.
Fantastic. Now, with any company, there's mistakes on the way, but obviously physically, we're not talking so much about the design side of it, because obviously you can, what do they call, Stephen Bartlett talks about having, as many mistakes, like the 10,000 mistakes to develop a light bulb or something. But I mean more in terms of, from a business point of view, is there anything that you would look back on and say, yeah, we've learned lessons of the previous time. We're doing things a little bit different this time.
Hundreds of things. And I don't mean to sound awkward, but honestly, hundreds of things that you can look back on at any moment and go, you know what? Hindsight's 2020 with
Hmm.
the benefit of the knowledge that I have now, having done that thing, I would iterate on it. I would change it slightly. A couple of examples that we've put into practice with this device. When we look at meter, we designed this product so well, it is so reliable that actually there's none of the redundancy that you expect with kind of consumer electronics. And truthfully, we wouldn't change that because we want to make an absolutely a top quality product that lasts, that's sustainable. But what we have looked at in this business is, well, if we're going to make something that is so incredible, something that, with the replaceable parts on this will last for years and years and years. If we're going to make something that has that longevity, how do we as a company continue to grow? And so that's why we took so much time. We went out and found a certified B Corp partner so that we could offer a consumable with this product that complements it, that improves it, but also it continues to act as a platform for us as a company to grow and get the word out there about what we're doing. So that would be one example. Um, when we can look at there's lots of little there's lots of little things that retrospectively you look back and go, you know what, I do that slightly different now.
Brilliant, yeah. And how about in terms of do you have a routine? Would you have a daily routine, or is every day very different?
So my routine is I absolutely do. So my routine, I herniated my L5 disc about 2 years ago. So
Ooh,
being a middle-aged guy, the first thing in my routine is I have to stretch in the morning because if I don't, I'm in for a bad day. After that, I will every morning I have breakfast with my baby girl Cleo. It's one of my favorite parts of the day. I start after my breakfast with my wonderful daughter straight into work, and that can be anything. It can be talking on a podcast, it can be doing a live broadcast on TikTok, it can be talking to my colleagues and trying to get them to explain more about data analytics and how that works. It can be writing marketing copy, it can be filming content. It really can be anything at this moment in time. But my kind of key touch points in the day for me are that morning stretch, that breakfast with my daughter, and that evening meal with my wife and daughter.
Brilliant, brilliant. And you find you have a productive, that's works for you in terms of productivity, in terms of getting the best out of yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's really important to have that opportunity for family. You know, how much of a hypocrite would I be if I'm here building a product with my co-founders that's designed to give the busiest people that moment for mindfulness and that moment for themselves if I wasn't willing to make that part of
Mm,
my own routine.
absolutely, yeah. Bit like a sort of a overweight doctor telling you that who smokes as well. I suppose it's not the best advert, I suppose.
I mean, you can't see
So
it, thankfully, because we're only above the shoulders, but
same with me. You can't see all, can't see the belly. So um, when you think of success, do you have any role models or people that you admire out there in the world?
yeah, quite a few actually. Quite a few. I think if we were to talk about role models for success, I would I'd be a fool if I didn't mention my co-founder Wen. I think she she has succeeded over multiple exits in multiple companies. She has succeeded by being a good person, by being intelligent, by caring about what she's doing. And so she would be a massive role model for me. I think another role model would be my own dad. You know, I think it's when you can look at you have this kind of role model that you can look at and you've been able to look at through your life of someone who's driven, someone who believes in the product that they're making and wants to go out there and optimize things and shake up the game. I think they're my two immediate first-hand real life people that I can phone up or go and give a cuddle to tomorrow. They're the role models on that side. But then I think, I'd take bits. It's like that game, when you used to play Top Trumps as a kid, and I'd take bits from different people, right? Like I would probably take Steve Jobs' presence and how the excitement and the marketing strategy and the commitment to design. I'd probably take Bill Gates's just technological capacity. I'd even, and this might go either way with the audience at this point. I'd even take bits of things from Elon Musk and Mark Cuban, and even when you go further down the line and you look at your non-traditional entrepreneurial people who have done remarkable things, like it blows my mind with just the amount of people that you can look at and go, actually, I really respect what they've done. They've held to their morals. They've made something that's useful and does good things. Yeah, what a role model.
Brilliant. No, I love that. So in terms of the company, then, where do you see it in 5 years' time?
It's a great question. Um, Truthfully, and I hope we look back on this and it's true, I would expect us to have 5 years' time. I would be thinking to have my dream would be 50,000 daily users. That would be
Big
my
number. All around the world?
all around the world, as many places as I can, wherever there's stress, wherever there's showers, that's where I want you to find Scent Espresso.
Huge, huge numbers. Brilliant. Okay.
I'll
And
put that out in the air. I'll put that out in the ether now. We're going to have to do that now, or do
gonna
I?
have to gonna have to make it happen. Given what you've done before, that probably is not going to be too difficult. But one of the challenges in any business, um, we can talk about ideas, you can talk about the enthusiasm of the co-founders, the expertise, all of those things, great leadership, fantastic. But once you start to scale, you got to take on staff.
Yes.
And if I would get £10 for every business owner who says they've lost their hair or got stress over something in life, apart from cash flow, the next biggest one is usually employees. How you've obviously managed a huge, company to grow to with a huge number of staff and another group of staff again. Do you have any tips or thoughts about how do you make sure you get the right people around you?
Yes, I do. And I'm glad you've asked the question. And truthfully, I have to think about my response because my background is owning a recruitment company, working in staffing for 15 years. Prior to that 15 years in recruitment, I worked in a job centre for 2 years. Um, and I think when we look at success for hiring, in my opinion, it doesn't matter, these kind of traditional boundaries that we tend to try and segment ourselves off into, whether it's background, whether it's ethnicity, whether it's religion. Um, I actually think none of that matters. I think what matters in my experience, and I have limited experience, but what matters in my experience is people who believe in your mission, people who, and this is your duty as a founder, your duty as someone that's starting a business, clearly communicate to people what your mission is. Why are we all here? And once we've communicated why we are all here, then we can talk about people taking that mission to heart and actually moving forward to further it. And I think the other thing that I would say about hiring the right people, from my experience, the right person isn't necessarily the person that has worked at a competitor or worked doing this exact job role. The right person is the person that is willing to grow and develop and willing to take on board feedback and willing to listen and be open to hear a way that it can be done differently. And what you can find is if someone's been doing exactly the same thing for 20 years, perhaps people can become a bit set and not wanting to actually hear of a new thing. And there's been a number of occasions in my past where I've sat and I've listened to a team member and they've just blown my mind. They've just come up with a unique perspective on something, and it's like, wow. And truthfully, it's not just, I was talking to my co-founder Chris the other day about recruitment, and he just off the cuff said, "Oh, why wouldn't people do it like this?" It's like, you're right. Why wouldn't people do it like this? Why is everybody not doing it like that? Why has it not been done like that already for 10 years? And I think just that the right people, they will challenge, they will push, they will have, they're not afraid to ask a question. I think too often, I think a massive problem with the business world is people are afraid to ask a simple question. And so often people will all sit in a room and talk about something, but no one will ask the simple question.
Mm.
And I think the simple question is the most important one to ask.
And it's interesting because having diversity of thought is impossible if people don't feel comfortable to ask the question.
Yeah,
And also, the more people, because it's interesting, you talk about, because it's something, I always advise my clients is that if the job doesn't need very, very, very specific qualifications, then I generally advise them to recruit an attitude, as you said, mission,
yeah,
because you can train them in everything else. But if somebody has all the skills and all the experience, but they don't want to do it the way you want it done, or they don't want to fit into your values or your thing, you're going to spend a lot of time arguing with them and getting very frustrated because they have the ability, but they don't believe in your
yeah,
way, or they're not feeling it. So you're going to constantly be back and forwards. And also, they don't necessarily ask the question because they think they already know the answer. So you don't get the silly question that people say is silly, but it's not silly. It's people who don't know ask more questions. And
yeah,
therefore, sometimes the answer is actually, I don't know why we do it that way. We've always done it that way, but maybe we should think about something else. And that person comes up with something, you know. I had somebody in a funeral service where they wanted to bring in something from the ambulance service, which was obviously, if you're in the funeral service, you're moving bodies.
Mhm.
And they said in the ambulance service, they created this plastic sort of like a board that they would put under a body, and it was easier to move people without damaging people's backs. And the manager wasn't having any of it
Yeah.
because he's been in the industry X amount of years. We've never used it. We don't need it. As soon as a new people came along and you suggested it, they just thought it was totally logical. No question about it whatsoever, because they didn't have any preconceived ideas of how you do it. Somebody says we could use this board, and they said, great, seems like a great idea, and they just embraced it. But people who are already in the industry were a bit resistant because they said, no, that's not the way we do things. And so it's really interesting that you said that. People who believe in your values and missions, fantastic. One area we haven't explored is AI. I mean, it's currently probably the number one topic talking about every business in the world right now is AI. How would AI affect it? And apart from people who maybe, I don't know, maybe you've got something that's AI proof. I can't think what that is at the moment, but something that's AI proof. Um, does it have any impact on your business yet?
100%. 100%. Um, we wow, where to begin? Because that's broad. Myself, my three co-founders, we use AI. We encourage our team to use AI. I think it has the opportunity to become a great leveler. I think on the one hand, you look at it and it can become a great leveler. It can also, just the other day, I was reading an article that was saying that now we're in this point where any data that is pre-2022 that is out on the internet is fine. Any data that is post-2022, generative AI is actually now taking bits of stuff that it's read from other generative AI that's on the internet and combining that, and it's meaning that the data and the information that's available is becoming corrupt because there's kind of so much AI generated content that it's then taking that AI generated content and believing it's accurate. And then it's kind of becoming this potential perpetuating cycle
Mm.
where it's dumbing itself back down again, right? It's reached peak intelligence, or this was my interpretation of it. It's reached peak intelligence from the human generated content. It's now so easily and effectively able to generate content that it's kind of going back on a downward curve. It's dumbing itself back down again. But I think my take on AI is as follows: that it can be a great leveler. We need to build a framework and a set of boundaries and guidelines for how we operate with it. We've all seen Terminator. Well, I have. I'm like, we don't want anything like that. But it has the potential to do something revolutionary for our world. And whether that revolutionary good thing is, or whether it's a good thing or whether it's a bad thing, that depends on how we act and how we use it now and how we work with it. I think to me, it gives me great joy. On the fun side, it's helped me with so many things, but it also terrifies me for my daughter Cleo. Like, she's 2 now. By the time she is moving out into the world of the labor market and thinking about finding a job, what will that world look like? And also, my other gripe with it is we need to celebrate individuality and human creativity. If we are all plugging into AI and saying, go write me this, go write me that, we're all eventually going to come to exactly the same sort of content and we're going to be homogenized. And I think we should celebrate the differences in vernacular, the difference in tone, the difference in writing style, the difference in creativity, because ultimately that's what makes us human and what makes us unique.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so a rather long-winded answer of saying some good, some bad. But we need
yeah,
to.
no, it's fair, very fair right now. The other thing I always ask on these interviews is, would you have any book recommendations? Or well, it's a bit wider than that these days because we say books, but I say I've read this book, I've read that book. Most of the time, I haven't read it. I've just listened to an audio book. So, the way we interact with knowledge now is changing. But anything you would recommend to people though, or something that you're particularly interested in right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so I I love books. I listen to podcasts as well. But I love books. Um, some favorites. One I was talking with my co-founder Chris about yesterday was the Phoenix Project. That is an absolutely fantastic book. It takes continuous integration and deployment in software. It writes it in kind of a Tom Clancy page turning style, but it gives you some fantastic principles on how and what it is. And I think it's absolutely phenomenal. Another one that I would strongly recommend everyone in the world read is Never Split the Difference. So that's actually written by a former FBI hostage negotiator, and it talks about how to negotiate, how to communicate, how to talk, how to get to the very root of what you both need out of your conversation, right? Because conversations are a two-way process. You know, it's been drilled into me from the very start of recruiting. You have two of these and one of these. Use them in that order. I think Never Split the Difference is a absolutely phenomenal book.
That's really interesting. He came to well, he it was a bit controversial because he didn't come physically, which he was due to, but he did it online at one of our big conferences, Action Coach conferences, and spoke.
Really?
Really, really interesting. Yeah,
I wish I knew that. I would love to meet him.
yeah.
Uh,
It's probably
Rich-
on got video material of it somewhere, but yeah, he was interesting. Yeah,
yeah. And I think beyond that, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, great book, great read. Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. Um, there is so many resources out there. There are so many talented, bright people that are putting their thoughts down into, well, now digital, but on paper. That yeah, it's a continuously growing list for me.
brilliant. No, brilliant. I'm sure people will listen to that and hopefully get some of those books as well.
I seriously hope so. I seriously hope so. And if you can get Chris Voss back in again, please invite me. I'd love to meet him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's interesting. Yeah. So if I gave you £100 million
Yeah.
to invest in business, what would you do with it?
Hmm. Do I have to invest it all in one or can I split my pot?
No,
Okay. So I would probably invest 40% of it right here, right now in UK manufacturing facilities and prototyping facilities. I think that we are losing our means of production and we need to double down on that and remember who we are and where we came from, right? I'm going to go all jingoistic and rattle the saber now. We gave the world the Industrial Revolution for a reason. We've lost our preeminence in that space and we've moved towards more of a service-based economy. And yes, I think we should provide services, but we also need to remember we want to make things. We've got to make things as well.
yeah,
The
yeah,
other things that
100%.
I would do, so I've spent 40 million. I'd probably drop another 20 million into verification technology through the blockchain because I think that's really, really powerful. And then my remaining 20 million, I would take and I would invest in as many small scale startups who I believe in their ideas as possible. And I would hopefully perpetuate that cycle and share resource, share money, share effort, share thought with as many startups out there in the world as I possibly could. In the UK as well. But
Brilliant. Love it. So, final question. There's lots of people maybe watching this, listening to this, thinking, wow, you've got a company to 145, million in revenue, sold it to an American company, phenomenal, got a new product coming out. And they might be getting excited thinking, God, I wish I could do that. Or I could, what two or three things could you leave them with to say, to think about before they launch on that journey? Or they've already started that journey?
so it's all about the people that you do it with. Like I played a role in that company's growth, but this is not attributable to me. This is attributable to everyone that was part of it. Temu, Joseph, Wen, Kai, this I'm not going to sit and list all of the 100+ names of the people, but I just want to be clear, like my advice, because it wasn't me, I was part of that team. Um, and it was the greatest thing I've ever done. So my advice would be find and surround yourself with people who share your mission. I think would be a really important one. And whatever that mission is, share it. Maybe your individual take on that mission is ever so slightly different, but have that unifying thread that goes through it all. The other thing that I would say is don't be scared to learn something new. Don't be scared to try something and try and figure it out, because maybe you'll come up with something different. Maybe you'll fail, and failing's okay, but don't be afraid to try it. And I think the final thing that I would say is like rest. Take take some time, take the moments when you can, whether that's a quick cuddle with your daughter, whether that's sneaking out for 9 holes of golf. Like you can only be effective and good if you're rested and you are living your life and you're doing this for a reason.
Love it. Absolutely brilliant. Phenomenal. Daniel, it's been an absolute pleasure. We could talk all day, but I'm sure you've got things to do. So I just want to say thank you for brilliant nuggets and giving us some really interesting feedback about your journey.
Thank you so much for having me on. If you don't mind me, I will go into plug mode now, if that's okay. Guys,
Of
do
course.
that on Kickstarter. Do have a look at the video. Do if it's something that speaks to you, if it's something that you know would speak to someone you know or love, please like and share. Please help us join this journey and keep this going.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful day and a great weekend. It's lovely to talk to you.
And you take care. Thank you.